presentation is called Moving Beyond Bias in Head Start Programs. This is for the class LMBA 608, Leading in a Diverse World Community. Hi, my name is Crystal Thompson, and I'm a health specialist at 4C Head Start. 4C is a nonprofit organization. It's called Community Coordinated Care for Children, and they are a nonprofit grantee for Head Start. The bias that I decided to tackle today was racial bias in the Head Start program. Head Start programs are a federally funded program of the United States of America. They provide early education services to children in the U.S. They focus on early learning from 2 months of age up to 5 years of age. They focus on health, which could be the early periodic screening, diagnostic, and treatment schedule, where children will have to see their physician numerous times before the age of 5. They focus on nutrition, making sure that children are receiving USDA-approved meals that is healthy for learning and ability to progress as they develop. They also are known to include the family well-being, not just the child, by certain programs where families can be part of the policy council. They have situations where families will meet with different specialists within the program to discuss the well-being of their child, and also have gatherings where they will inform parents of up-to-date information in regards to child development in education, health, and nutrition. Again, this involves parents as partners in their child's development, so they are able to have a holistic view of their child's development with the program. I wanted to channel racial bias, but first off, let's figure out what is racism. Racism is when one group distinctly characterize another group as inferior or less than. Discrimination refers to the differential treatment of members of different ethnicities, nationalities, religions, sex, gender, sexual orientation. And when you combine these two, you're having a bias against a racial group. The current impact of racial bias in my organization. As a person of color from a multicultural background, I find that when I am not accepted or I am judged based on the way that I look, I start to have an unwelcoming feeling within my organization. Sometimes I feel excluded. This can also develop something called imposter syndrome, where you really don't feel like you're capable of doing the particular job that you're assigned to. This impacts my business negatively by the overall performance of my current company. Most recently, we had an influx of Hispanic families, where we had an influx also of Hispanic employees. Sometimes, with the difference in communication, can cause a negative effect on whether or not one family is being racially profiled or discriminated against. This also hinders creativity and innovation because one group may think in a discriminatory manner of another. They're unable to fully understand what one group may offer. And this also can decrease problem-solving abilities. The organizational impact is that it creates a division within the staff, where one group feels alienated against or not respected. And then this can turn into discriminatory practices, which are against the federal government, especially that this is a federal program. Racial bias in a Head Start program in regards to the children can lead to an unequal opportunity for children of different races, where they can feel not cared for, or they can also feel like they are being punished or treated differently in a poor manner because of how they look or how they sound or where they're from or, again, from their race. It can hinder the development and perpetuate stereotypes. Unfortunately, this is one of the negative effects where children are learning biases from the people that they're interacting with. An action plan to help with my program is to implement diversity and inclusion training for staff, to promote culturally responsive teaching practices, and to establish an inclusive curriculum. By implementing diversity and inclusion training for staff, we will be giving information to staff that probably has not had that particular training before, and how to go over a particular situation where they are being understanding of a particular group that is not familiar to them. Promoting culturally responsive practices is really great because individuals can have their view of what they see at home within the program. For instance, a person from the Caribbean can probably see something culturally representative, like probably a type of food that can be placed in the classroom. Establishing inclusive curriculum can be especially a great opportunity. By including children's names in some of the activities are happening, children can feel a bond to when they're learning new information. To develop a plan, we first have to assess the current situation. We have to review our racial policies within the company or any discriminatory policies within the company. We have to observe what is going on in the classroom. And then obviously, we will need to have feedback from staff, families, and children, which can be conducted through surveys or just having one on one talks. Establishing goals and objectives. We need to establish clear and measurable goals. We need to, for example, within the end of the school year, after implementing our different strategies, we want to see a 20% decline in any racial discriminative reportings within our organization. We want to develop objectives for addressing bias. So we want to make sure that whenever there is a incident of bias, that we are going through the proper protocols to address that bias and to promote more inclusion and equity within our organization and also within the classroom setting. We want to have a detailed action plan. So we want to make sure that we have inclusion training for our staff, whether it happens within the beginning of the year or the middle of the year. If there are a particular staff member that is being reported, we want to make sure that we're offering them the opportunity to receive training to improve their interactions with people different from them. We want to be culturally responsive in our teaching practices. For instance, for someone that doesn't speak Spanish, we want to try our best to learn words, i.e., C for yes, of course, no for no, and siéntate for sit down. We want to have an inclusive curriculum where we're thinking of everyone's that we're serving and their need to be seen, and heard. We want to monitor, reflect, and refine. We want to regularly review data and report with the progress or lack of. So, what we'll do is that we'll have monthly feedback reports. How will we do that? We'll create surveys, we'll have one on one feedbacks with parents and stakeholders. We'll go in the classroom and have a checklist and see if certain aspects are being implemented and if there are needed for any adjustments. As we are adjusting issues within the organization, new issues may emerge. And that's fine. We need to keep accountability in regards to making sure that we're implementing our strategies. And as the new emerging needs occur, we can definitely find a good solving plan within the next academic year. At the end of this academic year, we will reflect on the implementation and impact by reviewing our data, getting feedback from parents, staff, and stakeholders, and we will celebrate success and identify future areas of improvement. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Again, my name is Crystal Thompson. These are my resources that I use to help implement our structure for combating racial biases. Have a nice day.